For more at what's at stake in these elections and what they mean for Iraq's future, we are joined by Wahid Hanna, a specialist on the Middle East and international security at the Century Foundation, which is a public policy research institution. Thanks very much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Well, let's talk about what is the significance of these elections and who do we expect the winners to be?
Well, the previous elections that were held in January 2005 suffered from what was a widely observed Sunni Arab boycott. And the results of that election were deeply flawed and perhaps fueled Sunni alienation and perhaps contributed to the insurgency. So this is an opportunity to reshuffle the deck, so to speak.
Well, this time the Sunnis are expected to be participating.
Absolutely. I think there's broad agreement among many sectors of the Sunni Arabs that it was a mistake to boycott the elections, and they've suffered for that.
Do you think that means then we'll see a bigger voter turnout this time, and especially from the minority ethnic groups?
Well, we'll definitely see a much higher turnout among the Sunni Arabs. There is disaffection with the broader process and the political process. People are disillusioned with politics, with corruption, so it's kind of an open question at this point whether that will affect voter turnout. And whether we'll cross sort of the 50% threshold.
So as we look at who turns out, who do we expect could turn out being the winner in all of this?
Well, public polling is notoriously unreliable in Iraq, and in the past it has skewed towards the middle class and has produced inaccurate results. And so it's hard to gauge at this point. But many people expect Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki's party, the State of Law Party, to do well this time.
Will the promise by President Obama to withdraw U.S. troops faster, is that likely to have an impact on this election?
Maybe not on this election, but we should keep in mind that there is going to be a referendum on the Status of Forces Agreement this summer. There are parliamentary elections later on for 2009 that are going to be very consequential for the future of Iraq, and the issue of troop withdrawals and the U.S. presence will definitely play a part in that campaign. And part of Nouri al-Maliki's popularity has been based on his establishing a more centralized locus of power, and he has definitely nurtured an image of himself as a strong national leader. And he did portray himself as driving a hard bargain with the Americans vis-a-vis the Status of Forces Agreement. So his position in the negotiations was, I think, part of his overall image as a strong Iraqi nationalist leader.
He really has gone through a tremendous transformation as a political leader in Iraq. Wahid Hanna, thank you very much for speaking with us today.
Thanks for having me.